All right, that was 1 can of my 15 ounce, 100% pure pumpkin. All right, I'm coming in with 3 eggs on top of my pumpkin into my greased cast iron. Alongside our eggs and pumpkin, I have 1 cup of just white granulated sugar for this delicious little fall recipe. And we can't have a fall recipe without some ground cinnamon. Just kind of measure with your heart on these next couple items. So I'm using the ground cinnamon and of course our pumpkin pie spice. I don't know about anybody else, but I am ready for fall. So we're bringing in our pumpkin pie spice and of course our delicious vanilla abstract. And again, we're just measuring with our heart. I love all these super warm, delicious flavors. It's one of my favorite times of year. And we're gonna add just a little bit of salt, just to contrast some of that sweetness, just like so. All right, now that we have those into our greased cast iron, I'm gonna go in with just a whisk. We're just gonna start to incorporate our eggs, our sugar, our pumpkin, just like so. Make sure we break up those yolks. This is one of my favorite and easiest recipes I love to make in the cast iron once the weather starts kind of cooling down. Just making sure everything's well incorporated. All right, now that we have that pretty well incorporated, we are going to start incorporating our heavy whipping cream. We're gonna need 2/3 cup heavy whipping cream into our cast iron. Again, just kind of eyeballing that right into that cast iron. We're just gonna stir away until all of our heavy whipping cream is incorporated into our pumpkin little treat here. Oh, this is looking good already. If you could smell this too. I love cinnamon and pumpkin spice. I am ready for autumn and fall. And like I said, one of my favorite recipes to make once it starts getting a little chilly outside. Just making sure everything's well incorporated. All right, now that we have our base completed, we are going to move our cast iron off to the side, and I'm gonna bring in a medium mixing bowl. In our medium mixing bowl, I'm gonna go in with 1.5 sticks of melted butter right into our mixing bowl. I have 2 cups of just all-purpose flour alongside our melted butter. Perfect. We're gonna add some salt, because salt, sweet, delicious. Salt never hurt anybody, so you can be generous with that. And of course, to bring in and tie in those warm flavors, I have some cinnamon. Again, measure with your heart depending on how much you love your cinnamon. And then I'm gonna go in with a cup of white sugar. Well, actually, we'll do 1.5 cups. So we'll bring in our granulated sugar. We'll do 1.5 cups of that right into our medium mixing bowl. All right, we are ready to give this a stir. And just kind of gently, we just wanna start incorporating that butter and kind of make like a crumbly-like texture. So kind of neat it. You could also use a hand mixer here, but I just kind of like to go kind of slow till it creates kind of like a dough. I don't know about anybody else, but I love fall and autumn. It's one of my favorite seasons, especially after the Vegas heat. It's a nice way to kind of cool down, and just, you know, more baking recipes, more fall recipes is always fun. I think that's starting to look pretty good, but we'll continue to kind of play around with this. All right, now that we have that nice, like kind of sandy, crumbly texture, we are going to bring back in our cast iron, and we are going to just take some of that crumble and go right on top of that pumpkin mixture that we made, just like so. Don't be afraid to get dirty. I feel like some folks might be like, why are you using your hands? This is just how I do it. We're baking, we're having fun. And we just want to try and cover that pumpkin layer with our delicious homemade crumble. Oh, it smells so delicious. Sweet with a little bit of salt and that cinnamon and our pumpkin spice. I mean, how good does that look? And that melted butter. Oh, the melted butter is probably my favorite part. Let's be real. All right, I want to make sure we use all of this too. And you could also do this in like a 13x9, but I love doing it in the cast iron. I just feel like it's more rustic. So if you don't have a cast iron, you can definitely do in just a 13x9. You could even probably make these into like little mini muffins or cupcakes. So you can kind of play around with different ways to plate this up. All right, that looks pretty good to me if you ask me. All right, we are ready to pop this into our oven for about 30-45 minutes at 375. Wow, Look at how incredible our pumpkin crisps turned out. I mean, that crust is like perfectly golden brown. Looks absolutely delicious, but you know what we're missing? I'm gonna get a slice. Oh, let's wait for that crunch. Oh, the crust, so perfect. Oh, it's like perfectly cooked. Oh, delicious. But we can't have anything pumpkin without, I think we're missing some Cool Whip. I love adding Cool Whip to any of my pumpkin desserts, and this is just going to elevate that delicious pumpkin crisp. Ooh, you could also add like a little bit of cinnamon or just some Ready Whip, but Cool Whip, I mean, that is the winner. I mean, the crust alone, oh, I'm excited. Get a little Cool Whip. It's gonna be hot. Oh my gosh. I'm ready for fall. That is so good. You have to try it.